The rain fell in relentless sheets, transforming Sam's auto repair lot into a glistening expanse of muddled gravel and oil-stained puddles. Each drop beat against the earth with a tenacity mirrored by Sam Robinson's efforts as he tightened a stubborn bolt on an old Chevy pickup. With grease-streaked hands that bore testament to countless hours of labor, Sam was known far and wide, not only for his mechanical proficiency but for his resolute spirit, a man who fought against the odds despite his own battles. Every day seemed a wrestling match with life's relentless struggles, bills piled high like a mountain he could barely scale, and more often than not he found himself caught in a heart-wrenching dance between necessity and aspiration, trying to construct a future from what felt like crumbling foundations. As the clock crested toward noon, the sun remained occluded by heavy clouds, the rain settling into a steady rhythm that mirrored the weight of his thoughts. Then, unexpectedly, through the damp gray veil came a glimpse of polished silver, a sleek sedan pulling into his lot. Its majestic shine glimmered like scattered diamonds against the backdrop of Sam's rusted relics. The driver stepped out, and he caught sight of vibrant red hair cascading down her shoulders, a stark contrast to the dullness enveloping him. Despite the stylish exterior, Emily's face bore the telltale signs of worry, her lips pressed into a thin line as she squinted against the relentless downpour. With a twinge of discomfort from yet another hour bending over engines, Sam pushed aside his fatigue and stepped out from the sanctuary of his garage, grabbing an old umbrella that had seen better days. "Need some help?" he called out, his voice barely cutting through the sound of raindrops hammering against metal and asphalt. "Please," she shouted back, her voice laced with urgency. "My car is making this horrible noise. I think it might be the transmission." The words hung heavy in the air, pulling Sam's heart downward like a stone. Transmissions never came cheap, and immediately he was reminded of his own precarious finances. Bills would loom before him if he didn't tread carefully, the pressure of impending payments slowly constricting his chest. Nonetheless, as he approached, he noticed her shoes, a pair ill-equipped for the weather, leaving her shivering in soaked, unsupportive material. The weariness in her posture told him enough: she was in a tight spot. "Let's take a look," he offered, forcing a smile to mask his concern. He could sense the tension radiating from her as he popped the hood and started the engine. The familiar whir filled his ears, mingling with the rain, but an unsettling grind emerged that he couldn't ignore. "Could you," she began hesitantly, visibly trembling as she met his gaze, "could you fix it? I really need my car for work." In that moment, Sam's heart twisted with empathy. Emily's deep-set eyes glistened with the weight of her worries, a mirror to his own struggles. He thought of the household bills, a mortgage payment looming, utilities just a breath away from late charges, and it would be so easy to turn her away, to nudge her toward someone else. Taking a steadying breath, he opted for another route. "How much do you have?" he asked gently, expecting the cautious sum of a few notes, perhaps a desperate attempt to salvage something from her finances. Her shoulders drooped slightly as her eyes dropped to her feet, the shivering in her hands betraying her anxiety. Just a few hundred for the repair, if that's enough." Enough. The weight of her words sank deep into him. He sighed, mentally calculating the toll on his fragile finances, yet felt a spine of resolve ignite within him. Shaking his head slowly, he replied, "Okay, let's see what we can do." For the next hour, amidst the pouring deluge, the two worked side by side, a duet of gears, bolts, and shared stories. Through grease-streaked hands, Sam guided her as he explained the transmission's issues, earning a quiet laugh in return, one that felt like sunlight breaking through the clouds. Her name was Emily, and she was a teacher at the local community school, striving to care for her two daughters on a single income. Their shared laughter spilled into the air, chasing away the chill, lighting the drabness around them with a soft glow. As they neared the end of the repairs, Sam found the problem was significant but resolvable. With one final twist, he locked everything into place. "You're good to go, but keep an ear on it. These may get worse before they get better." "Thank you," she exclaimed, her eyes shimmering, disbelief melting away into gratitude. "This means so much to me." As she reached into her purse for payment, Sam held up a weary hand, signaling her to stop. "No charge today. Just take care of those little girls of yours." The elaboration of her surprise echoed in her expression, mouth parting slightly in disbelief. "But I can't just take this for free. You must have your own bills to worry about." "I'll manage," he soothed, suddenly feeling a rare flicker of peace in his heart. "What you do is important. You deserve this kindness, and trust me, it's not every day I get to help someone like you." In that precious moment, drenched from the rain yet warmed by the bonds of kindness, Sam felt an indescribable lift in his spirit. He watched as Emily climbed into her car, turning to offer one last sincere thank you as she twisted the ignition key. The engine roared to life, the sound mingling with the lingering rainfall as she drove off, leaving him standing in the aftermath of her ascent, a small ripple of joy in his otherwise tumultuous existence. Later that evening, as the rain subsided and the sky flirted with the first hints of dusk, Sam returned to the workbench, lost in reflections of the connection he'd forged. He couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was more than serendipity, it was the flicker of hope he had long been seeking. With every act of kindness, every shared struggle, he began to see a weaving of lives that might return something beautiful. Little did he know, this interaction with Emily would unfurl into a journey that would intertwine their fates and crystallize into a community of support they could never have anticipated. The weeks that followed the charity event flowed like honey, thick with light, as Sam finally felt the embrace of his surroundings. The once familiar sounds of clangs and hisses in his shop became a symphony of life. Each day, Sam greeted a steady stream of customers, many from Emily's networking circle, who came not only for repairs but to share their stories and laughter, stitching together the very fabric of community he had long wished to engage with. Emily remained a steadfast ally through this transformation. Her infectious enthusiasm was a magnet, drawing people like moths to a flame. Together, they collaborated on various community projects, from hosting workshops that taught basic car maintenance to organizing holiday drive events, where they collected toys and clothes for children in need. Each initiative ignited a flame of courage within Sam, propelling him far from the shadows of doubt where he had once lingered, nurturing the growing belief that he could be a crucial part of this vibrant tapestry. One evening, after a long day filled with laughter and fuel-stained hands, Sam slumped into a chair out front of his shop, soaking in the essence of life bustling around him. He could hear children's laughter mixing with lively chatter from nearby food vendors, a distant drumbeat thumping from a street party, and the unmistakable hum of camaraderie weaving through the air. Emily emerged from the crowd, her cheeks flushed from excitement, 2 steaming coffee cups in hand. "Thought you might want to pick me up," she said, her eyes twinkling as she handed him a cup, the aroma wafting up to pull him from his revelry. "How's the night treating you?" "Better than I ever thought possible," he replied, taking a sip as warmth surged through him. "It feels like everything's finally falling into place. I've never seen the shop this busy, and it's amazing." "I knew it would be. You just needed the right kickstart," she teased, playfully bumping his shoulder. "You've created something incredible here, Sam. It's not just about the cars anymore, you're building a legacy." That word lingered between them, a legacy. It hung there like an oasis in the dry desert of his past, a reminder of the space between what was and what could be. He thought back to those dark days of self-doubt when his business felt like a burden rather than a blessing. The unexpected flow of joy that now enveloped him was almost surreal. As if reading his thoughts, Emily continued, "And to think, it all started with a bit of help from a stranger." He turned to her, brow furrowing slightly in contemplation. Maybe we're more than just 2 people crossing paths by chance. Maybe this was always meant to happen. "Absolutely," she said, her expression warming. "Sometimes it takes a lit candle to spark the fire. You lit that fire, Sam, and we're all benefiting from it." That night, the warmth between them grew, and Sam felt a narrative unfolding that was much larger than either of them anticipated. He began to imagine the percussive heartbeat of their community, each shared moment and connection like the cogs of an engine, interlocking seamlessly to propel them forward. The months sped by with the promise of summer, and soon Sam's shop was bustling with new projects, a local race car team who had taken him on for regular maintenance, collaborations with auto shops in neighboring towns, and even community BQs hosted in the yard, where laughter flowed as freely as lemonade. All the while, Emily was right by his side, her laughter soothing the weariness of the long days. One Thursday afternoon, everything came to fruition in a way Sam could scarcely believe. A knock on the garage door drew his attention. When he opened it, a tall man with an eager grin advanced forward. "Sam, right? I'm James from the local newspaper," he began, introducing himself. Sam barely had a moment to react before James continued, "We've heard some incredible buzz about you, your work, and the community initiatives you've spearheaded with Emily. We're looking to feature your story, how you've turned your shop into a hub of support and connection. Would you be interested in an interview?" Stunned, Sam found himself nodding, his heart racing in his chest. This was the opportunity to share the kind of magic he had experienced, to shine a spotlight on the community that had embraced him so wholeheartedly. "I would love that," he said, finally, a genuine smile breaking across his face. "Thank you." As he spoke with James over the next hour, recounting his journey and the events leading up to this moment, Sam felt an overwhelming sense of meaning. He reflected on each significant thread in the weaving of his life, from Emily's initial outreach to the projects they had collaborated on since. Each note of struggle, hope, and triumph melded into a vibrant portrait of what had materialized from a simple act of kindness. In the weeks that followed, the article graced the front page, the headline bright and bold against the newsprint. It celebrated the revival of Sam's auto repair, shining a light on not just the work he performed but the community flourishing around it. Sam found himself receiving messages from old friends, local patrons, and even new faces eager to support him. The momentum was palpable, a collective embrace that felt like a hug washed in warmth, a testament to how far they had all come. With each passing day, each new car in his garage, his shop continued to evolve, carrying the weight of dreams suspended in the spring air. Gone were the days spent staring at bills and worrying about the future. Now, hope spun its golden threads across his life, bolstered by the undeniable force of connection and community. As Sam prepared for yet another outreach event, a fundraiser for local families struggling to secure reliable transportation, he caught sight of Emily working diligently at the makeshift booth, her hair catching the sunlight as she organized pamphlets. She glanced back and shared a smile so genuine he felt a rush of gratitude fill him. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Emily posed, absorbing the energy around them. "It's surreal," Sam agreed, a grin blooming on his face. "I don't think I've ever felt more alive." As he surveyed the joyful scene ahead, families chatting, laughter peppering the air, and children darting about, he understood that their stories were now intertwined, each helping to propel the other forward. Their journey was but one thread woven into the vast tapestry of a community fostering hope and resilience. In this newfound world of support, he found the truest freedom lay not in independence, but in the shared belonging and kindness that bound them all together. In that moment, Sam reaffirmed what he had always known deep within: a simple act of help could spark something extraordinary. Together, he and Emily, with the heartbeats of the community behind them, were crafting a legacy far beyond the mechanics of engines. They were cultivating a vibrant ecosystem of connection that resonates with the rich colors of humanity's shared journey. And through it all, they learned that kindness truly holds the transformative power to unveil the most profound possibilities. As the festivities wound down and the laughter began to ebb, Sam felt a sense of fullness settle in his heart, like the ripe fruit of a long-awaited harvest. Children chased each other around the park, their joyful shrieks bouncing off the trees while the adults exchanged stories about the day's adventures. Walking alongside Emily and Lisa, Sam felt lighter, each step infused with the connections they had nurtured together. "I can't believe the turnout this year," Lisa marveled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "It feels like people are beginning to look forward to this, like it's a part of our community now." "It is," Emily affirmed, her eyes sparkling with satisfaction. "And don't forget, it started with us believing in something greater than ourselves." She turned to Sam then, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "Sam, I'd say you're the heart of it all. You might not wear a cape, but you've become our community superhero." "Superhero," Sam chuckled, the notion oddly endearing. "I'm just a guy who fixes cars, remember?" "Exactly," Emily gestured emphatically. "A guy who fixes cars and goes above and beyond for everyone. Kids remember how you saved their bikes. Adults will always know you as the mechanic who helped their families in times of need. You've transformed not just your shop, but all our lives. That's not just fixing engines. That's building a legacy." Her words resonated deeply. Sam reflected on the richness that had seeped into his days since the stormy afternoon Emily had come into his shop, fraught with worry over her car. He had never imagined that his small efforts could yield such a resounding impact. In that moment, as the sun melted slowly into the horizon, Sam made a silent promise, not just to himself but to everyone who walked through his doors. He would continue to foster that fire of connection, striving to be the source of kindness and support that he once desperately sought. Before long, the stars lit up the night, twinkling like a million affirmations above. Children with sticky fingers from ice cream wandered back to their parents, while laughter faded into the soothing hum of the swaying trees. The festival, while a celebration of past achievements, also whispered promises of future endeavors yet to come. As the last remnants of the gathering began to disperse, Sam glanced at Emily and Lisa, a new sense of clarity washing over him. How about we plan for next year's festival earlier this time, he suggested, excitement bubbling in his chest. We can incorporate even more activities, a car show maybe, or workshops so everyone can learn some maintenance tricks. And of course, I want to get more kids involved. Brilliant idea, Lisa jumped in with a grin. We could partner with the schools and invite students for hands-on learning, give them that same spark. Emily nodded, her enthusiasm palpable. And let's extend it beyond automotive skills. We could create a mini makers fair where local artisans could showcase their work, give demonstrations, and inspire others. The trio continued to brainstorm ideas late into the evening, each suggestion illuminating pathways to new connections and opportunities. Their minds echoed each other's excitement, culminating in a profound vision of a stronger, more vibrant community where everyone played a vital role. As they prepared to leave, Sam felt a renewed sense of purpose thrumming through him. This was a journey he wanted to tread deeply, and he had companions on this path who shared his values and passion. In the following days, as he returned to the routines of shop life, the momentum from the festival lingered, ebbing and flowing into the everyday interactions with customers and friends. Sam welcomed every repair with open arms, knowing that each engine he fixed was forged in solidarity. Each smile exchanged a testament to the growing bonds around him. The news of the festival's success rippled throughout the community, bringing in new faces eager to explore what Sam's Auto Repair had to offer. Just 2 weeks later, the shop buzzed with conversation and laughter, the burden of loneliness no longer haunting. His customers became regulars, forming friendships that transcended transactions. They helped repair the cars that transported their dreams. Finally, the day came when Sam welcomed a fresh initiative to his open garage, a community workshop day, where neighbors could learn car maintenance basics while sharing stories of resilience. The smell of oil and gasoline mingled with fresh-baked cookies as families gathered. Children peered into engines, parents exchanged secrets about fixing flat tires, and deep connections blossomed under the protective canopy of the garage, a world woven from connection. After a session on checking oil levels, he stood at the front, watching them, the mismatched group united by a shared goal, their laughter a living testament to the power of kindness. It was in that moment, as he basked in the collective spirit, that Sam understood connection was not accidental but crafted with intention, like a trusted mechanic nurturing an aging engine. Months later, as spring dawned once more and new blossoms appeared across the town, the growing community came together for the second annual festival. This time attendance nearly doubled, with families from neighboring towns joining the joyful throng. Sam's heart soared as he watched children partake in hands-on car repair activities, his knowledge imparted gently to eager minds. Emily swept through the festival, her red hair catching the light in a way that reminded Sam of the buoyant energy she carried with her. Brimming with pride, he felt their combined efforts surging through the air, with each cheerful hit of the drums resounding in the background. In one cherished moment, they paused together, gazing out over the park alive with color and excitement. "Can you believe we've come this far?" she mused, eyes sparkling. "I really can't," he replied earnestly, "but I knew it was possible. Kindness doesn't just change our lives, it changes our community." Emily turned toward him, stopping momentarily, letting the vibrant energy of the day swirl around them. "What you've built is truly remarkable, Sam. But I think it's the spirit you foster that sustains all of this. It's your heart that's behind every moment of connection." They stood in comfortable silence for a few beats, the triumphant energy of the festival wrapping around them like a warm embrace. Sam's heart swelled at her admiration, knowing that what lay ahead held new experiences, deeper connections, and even greater achievements. As the festival extended into the night, Sam felt a wave of anticipation wash over him. His journey had transformed from a selfish desire for survival into a beautiful odyssey of connection, one that inspired others to emerge alongside him while painting a rich tapestry of resilience and hope. The festival hum faded away as he remembered his promise to build a legacy not through past accomplishments, but through a future crafted from kindness and generosity that would shape lives and communities beyond measure. As evening edged into night, Sam stood in the immersion of shared joy, love, and hopes, vibrant against the backdrop of an inky sky, ready to embrace all that life had in store, and knowing that together with Emily, Lisa, and his cultural family, he wasn't merely a mechanic anymore. He was a beacon of connection, a testament to the fact that even the smallest acts of kindness could indeed ignite profound change in the hearts of many.